Hey guys, my name is Big Tino and welcome back to From the Depths. Now, welcome back to our struggle against the White Flayers. I'm going to pause for a second because I was kind of looking back at the at our fights with White Flayers so far, and I don't think we have a good long-term fleet, or a good fleet for a long-term engagement with them, just because the Kraglenorm is really, really good, but because of its volume count, if I want to restrict the block limit, which I do kind of want to do in battles for a higher FPS, this is going to take up pretty much all of our block count because it's so big. And that means that it won't have backup, while the White Flayers have a lot of really good ships and a very small block count. So, in my own time, I've been working on a really big airship. Maybe not a really big airship, but a really, hopefully really good airship. That maybe is on par in terms of strength and cost with the Kraglenorm. That hopefully can help us swing the tide against them. Because right now, I feel like we're just not particularly well equipped to fight them. All that being said, though, I am going to fight them anyway.
Moving out. Moving out. Moving out.
And this time we're going to go up against a strength 200 defense force here, which could be really rough. Now, for this fight, I am going to keep the block count on max, because I really want to test it out, because I have lowered the graphics significantly, I've tweaked a lot of things, hopefully to improve performance. And like I said, if I don't have the max block count, then we're going to be in real bad shape, because these guys will be able to spawn probably most of their fleet for the same block count as the Kraglenorm by itself, and we won't win that. So let's go ahead and fight this. We'll see what they've got. Okay. It's 151,000 blocks. That's quite a few, but it's not terrible, I suppose. Like I said, I'll test it out, and if this battle is super laggy too, then I might just go ahead and cut it, fast forward through it, and for the next fight, we'll reduce the block count. Okay, but it looks like they have nothing that's particularly scary. I mean, I guess everything in the White Flayers is pretty scary, but looks like several of these, which I remember to be pretty fast melee ships, a Spike, which is, I think that's their fighter, Martyr, that's their little nuke guy, Thresher, another melee guy, Charger, that's the flying melee guy that Free Willied us last time. What we haven't seen yet is this Treachery, which is a big ship, ish, but it's not that expensive. So I think we're actually outgunning the enemy for once in this one, which I am perfectly okay with. Actually, let's not move closer. Let's give ourselves some room to operate here and not get buzzsawed in the face. So yeah, we'll spread out and we'll see how this goes. I also worry because the Kraglenorm is so vulnerable to enemy melee ships, because it's big and it's slow, and if I don't destroy enemy melee ships before they get to melee with us, then I mean I just lose, because they'll just come up, ram into us, and just dig through the hull. Okay. Looks like not everything spawned in. Hang on. There we go. Okay, already much better FPS count. Than last time. Actually, let me go ahead and pause here. One thing I did is I turned off the water reflections, which almost makes it look cleaner. I mean, I don't think it looks better, but it looks cleaner to be sure. Looks like this is the Treachery. Glad it's not a melee vehicle, honestly. I can handle just a big ship that has a bunch of guns on it. And I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and have Actually, let's just have everyone target
Engaging now.
these super fast melee guys before they get to us. Man, those things are so fast my camera can't keep up with them. A lot of shots coming in from the Kraglenorm against this guy. Big hits there. Hopefully big enough to stop it. I learned from my mistakes last time, where I just damaged it, thought it would be, you know, sufficiently damaged, moved on to something else, and then it came back and literally bit me in the ass. So I'm gonna wait until this thing is completely just dead, and then we'll move on to the other one. Looks like a big internal explosion there has rocketed the thing out of the water, and is actually making it a little harder for us to hit it because it's bouncing up and down from all the explosions. Looks like the Kraglenorm has taken a few hits there. I see a little explosion on it. Hopefully it's nothing too major. We're down 3%. That's not terrible. Alright. Let's target the other one now. We'll just make a big wall of shells to stop these melee ships from getting to us. Looks like this thing does have a particle cannon, which is cool. So that's a weapon that I think I'm going to include on that big new airship that I'm building, because I do think particle cannons are cool. It looks like one of our turrets is kind of freaking out here. I think it move. Yep. Looks like we lost one of the main cannons on the Kraglenorm, and it sort of fell over. Alright, this thing's getting closer. Hopefully these shells can do some nasty damage to it. I already see some really big explosions on it, which is good, although at this point, just its momentum is carrying it towards us. And here it comes, and it's going up. I think it's going to Free Willy us again. A lot of rockets hitting it in the back, which I think is propelling it forwards, which is good, because that's just going to clear us. Yep. It just sort of flew over us. Oh, see, I did it again.
Engaging now.
I left that one to its own devices, and there it goes. Ooh, it looks like it did a lot more damage to itself than it did to us when it hit us, though. Though it did kind of badly damage this main cannon, which is not destroyed, but it'll need some repair work before it can, you know, properly shoot again, I think. Looks like we're taking some EMP hits. Like I said, I do have some EMP shielding on this thing, but not a ton. May need to add more. Probably should add more, honestly, because the White Flayers do like using their EMP. Oh, something has exploded. That may have been our internal ammo cache here. Yep, looks like our ammo is going up on the Kraglenorm. Wow, that was a big explosion that's just sort of sending us flying backwards. And into the air. Wow. We're only down to 92%. I think it's mostly just that was one of the ammo caches, and so it made a big explosion. Okay, I feel confident that that one is dead. Let's target the other one. Yeah, that's 54%. So the Kraglenorm flies through the air. That's insane. Yeah, still down to 92%. It was just, I guess, it was just such a big explosion, even though it didn't damage all that much. I mean, it was right here, and it didn't even damage this cannon. So, obviously, you know, it's not doing a ton of damage to the ship itself. It was just a big explosion. Oh, here comes another melee ship. That's the Charger. Let's target that. Yeah, just having being really reactionary fighting the White Flayers is, well, it's difficult because these guys. The Kraglenorm is a really good ship. It's just not a great ship for fighting the White Flayers. It's just such an easy target for these melee ships. I mean, this is a tiny little ship, and it's probably going to do you know, a really really disproportionate amount of damage to us. Or we could actually blow it up. Yep, I think once again we're going to get free-wheelied by a melee ship. Its explosions propelling it into the air. I think it's going to clear us. Or it's going to land on my head. I think it's going to land on my head. We captured it. We captured that ship. I'm going to very quickly, if I can select it, which I cannot. There we go. Well, I was going to say I was going to pull out of the fight, but I guess I can't. It's just going to sit there on us. Let's just destroy it. Get rid of this thing. I do not want it. Okay, so I had to kind of cut there a bit because the lag from that ship being repaired and destroyed and meleeing the Kraglenorm was kind of ridiculous. But it looks like we're back in shape now, and here comes... I'm guessing that's the buzzsaw. That looks like a buzzsaw. Yeah, that's the buzzsaw. Let's kill the buzzsaw. The buzzsaw looks really, really scary, and I think, at the very least, we've slowed that thing down. Oh, well, we hit a nuke. White Flayers do love their nukes. And yeah, the charger running into us and exploding detonated one of our cannons here, which is still causing some damage. Huh. Okay, we're getting ammo back at least. That's good. I was worried that they had destroyed the other ammo cache in this thing, but it looks like they haven't, which is nice. Looks like the buzzsaw is getting absolutely destroyed here. I do appreciate, if nothing else, the Kraglenorm's ability to just sort of stop these melee vehicles in their tracks. As long as they're not coming from all sides. If they come from all sides, like this... Oh boy. This might be bad. Not a whole lot we can do about it, unfortunately. Because I'm more scared of that buzzsaw than I am of this thing. That being said, let's target it anyway. We could just get a few shots on it. Keep it off. We'll just go back and forth. Keep making our walls of shells. Our grenade launcher is doing some pretty good damage there already. Thankfully this thing's armor has been just totally stripped off. Some point blank big shots here. Maybe. Might be too close actually. The main turrets can't really fire down very well. Oh man. We're pushing it back though. Okay. Back to the buzzsaw. Oh boy. Looks like they might scratch the paint a bit here. Some nice big explosions there on the buzzsaw, although it is, oh no. As we're moving forward, that's just kind of chopping us apart. Oh, we're blasting it backwards though. Oh man. Yeah, see, this is why I want the new airship, because this is not great. Explosions are holding it in place, at least. I think, hopefully, we've damaged this thing's propulsion. So let's go back.
Engaging now.
Fight this thing. Change places. Uh-oh. That's a big explosion inside our ship. Yep, that was the ammo store. Maybe I need to go in and add some internal shielding to the ammo stores. I think that would probably be a good fix, because it's definitely those small caliber, like armor piercing rapid fire advanced cannons that are getting it, because it's not doing a ton of damage to the outer hull. It's just able to like dig through, dig and dig and dig until it gets to the ammo. So I think I may do that. I may add some internal shielding to the Kraglin Orm to help fight the White Flayers, because the White Flayers love their rapid fire armor piercing advanced cannons, which, if they ever decided to focus on the rocks, would absolutely annihilate the rocks. So at least we have the Kraglin Orm here for some tankiness. Alright, we can stop focusing on that. Let's shoot the treachery, because that is definitely what's hitting us with those rapid fire advanced cannons. Yeah, you can see those blue shells are those armor piercing shells, and that's if my outer shields get damaged, which they clearly have, possibly by the melee vehicles, those armor piercing rounds are just going to go straight through my ship. There's not a ton that I can do about it, because they're so effective against armor. But they're pretty hard countered by shields, so I think that'll be a good fix for it. Thankfully, though, our weapons are still effective. I haven't encountered any ships so far that have been just, not affected by the Kraglin Orm's giant shells, which is nice. Just confetti raining out of this thing. Ooh, sorry about that. Didn't mean to dive into the muzzle flash there. So I will say, with the new graphic settings, the FPS issues, maybe not totally fixed, but much better. This fight has been going very smoothly compared to the last one, in terms of frames, of course. I'm not sure this is going more smoothly than the last one in terms of just, our performance. But hey, looks like I think that's the Spike there. Their fighter. It looks like one of the missiles from the rocks took it out, which is great. The rocks small missile launchers are just excellent at shooting down those fast flyers, which is something the Kraglin Orm is pretty terrible at. Well, there's the buzzsaw. It's trying real hard to get back to us. I'm surprised it still exists. This thing's in bad shape. Not that we're in, great shape ourselves, but at least we're still shooting. Now, is this a ship that has flipped over, or have we just taken all the guns off of it? Okay, we've just taken all the guns off of it. It does still have some missiles, though. Yeah, looks like we've just destroyed whatever this turret was, and I think that may have been its only weapon. These are flares that it's launching, so those are defensive missiles, which are not affecting our missiles because our missiles are radar guided rather than heat-seeking. Oh, are you really going to make me target this thing again? Alright, I'll do it.
Engaging now.
I'll pick on this little thing again. I think I've stripped most of this thing's armor off. Hey, I leveled up. And so it's mostly just us beating on the inside of it. It is a cool ship, though. I like the idea of these buzzsaws. And as we saw, it could be very effective if it actually gets to us. Unfortunately, because it is half underwater, our grenade launchers, which are not that accurate already, are kind of hitting the water and going under it as well. Is it too damaged yet? Does not seem to be. But I think we've damaged its turning capabilities because it's turning away from us, and I don't think the buzzsaw wants to turn away from us. Just gonna take a little screenshot there, probably gonna be the thumbnail. And alright, I think at this point we are just wrapping up this fight. Pretty pleased with how we dealt with a Strength 200 fleet. We may have lucked out just in the designs. We didn't encounter any flyers besides the one spike. Because the big ship, the big flyer we fought last time, the Chimera, I feel could do some really bad damage if it's part of a big fleet like this. So I think we probably lucked out a bit just in terms of the enemy fleet composition. But still, we did pretty well. The Kraglenorm very slowly repairing itself. I do make sure that I put enough repair bots to where minor damage can be repaired in combat, but not so many that major damage can be repaired in combat. So it's going to patch itself up just a bit. But if it loses a main gun, it's not going to get the main gun back in the fight. But say if like one of these little laser defense things gets knocked out, or one of the shield projectors gets knocked out, it can probably get that back. Which is about where I want it. I don't want some weird self-replicating super repair ship. That's just kind of cheesy to me, I think. Alright, well I'm going to fast forward through the rest of this fight because we're just sort of sinking what's left. So I'll be right back. Okay, before we start this next fight against the White Flayers resource gatherer here, I do want to point out something funny. So a ship's speed on the world map is determined by its max speed when it's spawned into the world. The Kraglenorm was at about 11 meters per second. The rocks are at, in the 30s. Now, however, because of that ammo detonation that sent it flying, the Kraglenorm's map speed is 106.
Moving out.
It can just glide across the water now, which is great.
Moving out.
And kind of weird, but also great. Alright, so I don't think this is going to be much of a fight here. Resource gatherers rarely are. This is, of course, the White Flayers resource gatherer is called the Flagellator, so, maybe it will be. But let's spawn just right up next to it, and we'll just shell it. Okay, before we completely destroy it, I do want to go over and see it. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's neat. Those are weird blocks. Those might be light blocks, actually. This might be that might be a spinner. Yeah, here are more of those. Are probably rapid-fire advanced cannons there. Alright. Oh, yeah, it's a spinner. Just covered in spikes. Already detonating something. Oh, not rapid fire. I think so. They look like kinetic shells, which are nice and countered by our shields. Yeah, not much of a fight there. Still, cool and kind of creepy looking spider thing. Oh, it's already dead. I'm melting. No. Alright, so two interesting things have happened. One is that the Lightning Hoods have declared war on us. Now, they've only just declared war on us, so their relationship with us is negative 0.6. So hopefully they won't attack us soon, but they are allied with the White Flayers, so that's not super surprising. The other interesting thing is that this is the White Flayers base. I bet I can get to it and blow it up. So maybe I won't need that airship. Maybe not. Maybe that'll be a build for the Lightning Hoods. I'll just make sure it has a lot of smoke generation, because the Lightning Hoods, as I recall, do love their lasers. Of course, actually getting to the Lightning Hoods to fight them is going to be a pain because, well, our main fleet's up here, and the Lightning Hoods are all the way down here. So it may be that I just build another fleet, or another couple of ships down here to go fight them, or at least hold them off. So there are two White Flayers fleets coming towards us. One's down here, and it's for some reason wanting to get all the way up here. So hopefully my little fleet here of owlbears and sahuagins and pathfinders can hold them off. Hopefully. While our main fleet goes and takes care of these guys. So even though this would be the path of, well, no, I'm going to go this way and then up. Because I don't want to fight this fleet and a strength 124 at the same time. And hey, we got another resource deposit, which is only worth 48,000. So not a ton. But it's something.
Moving out.
Okay. Let's unpause. Let's go ahead and move our ridiculously fast Crag Lenorm over there to spawn in this strength 45 fleet.
Moving out.
Because my goal is to fight this fleet, then this fleet, wait till this fleet gets to us, fight it, move up, fight this fleet, and then we'll take out the White Flayer Fortress. Might not have time for all of that today, but, you know, we'll see. Okay, so it's just a Stinger Mark II, which I think is a fighter, and two of the Chargers. So not too concerned. I would normally just put the, only use the Crag Lenorm in that, but because of the Stinger Mark II, that's a fast-moving flyer. The Crag Lenorm's just, I'd just be here forever trying to hit the thing. So I'll bring the rocks in. Alright, close enough. Let's just get right up to him. I almost feel bad about this, except that I don't. I guess these guns did get destroyed, so they'll need to reload. So I'll leave this thing spawned in after this fight, so that they'll reload. I'm not sure why the Crag Lenorm does this. At the very start of the fight, it'll fire a couple of times, the weapons will go offline for like 2 seconds, and then they'll come back online. I've never seen that happen before, and I'm not sure what causes it. Ooh, that's gonna be bad. Oh, that's lovely. Yep, and here's the Stinger Mark II, which just got hit by my grenade launchers. I didn't need the rocks at all. How lovely. And the weapons have turned off, because they're all gone. Alright, well, I'm going to leave this spawned in for a minute or two while the weapons reload, so I'll be right back. Alright, that White Flayers fleet has finally gotten to us. And so we're gonna take care of that thing, and then that'll be it for today. Probably be the last fight for today. So let's see, a Sin Eater. All these names. A couple of martyrs, a buzzsaw, marrow pulper. It's only 13,000 points, but it sounds terrifying. And a sea flare. Alright, cool. Cool. If they're going for the intimidation factor, it works. Yeah, let's start about there. And we'll keep up our tactic of just sort of making a wall of shells. Anything that gets too close with its weird melee weapons, we'll focus fire on it. And this time I did give the Kraglenorm's weapons some time to reload. Alright, let's take a look at these guys before I destroy them. Alright, this is the Sin Eater. That's cool. Looks like it has some rapid-fire advanced cannons and a ridiculous-looking thing on the front. All right, so here's my guess. This thing is on a turret, a 2-axis turret, and it aims towards the enemy, and these thrusters just make the ship fly towards the enemy no matter what. So this is definitely primarily a melee ship. It's even got a little tail. That's cute. I love these designs. This is the marrow pulper. Cool. It's got little skis on it. Guess that's where it keeps the ammo. And the adorable little sea flare here. Pretty small fleet in this one. I think I'm guessing that the Sin Eater is going to be the biggest threat here, but we'll see. It looks a little frail, so if we can actually hit it, hopefully it will just detonate. Alright, let's do it. I'm sorry, I was just completely enthralled by this thing. Looks like we are shooting at it and missing. Looks like he dodged even the missiles, and yeah, it's definitely being guided by this weird nose cone thing. We're gonna make our wall of shells now. Select everybody, shoot the Sin Eater. Hit it with something. A lot of shells. A whole lot of shells coming out of my ships. Coming nowhere close to the Sin Eater. Don't know what they're doing with that. I guess this thing is very hard to predict in its movements. There's a good hit on the side. A couple of good hits. Got the slowdown. Something blew up. Looks like that thing back there blew up. Probably the torpedoes. Don't forget that the Rock 2.0 just dumps torpedoes into the water, so the water's probably just swimming with them right now. Some good missile hits on the Sin Eater. Its nose is facing us. Not quite enough to ram us, though, which is interesting. A couple of big hits there. Might have been an internal explosion or two. Our ships are doing fine. Yeah, I think we've pretty badly damaged this thing. Oh, you know what we should do? We should now shoot the little martyrs, if I can find them. Because I don't really want to be nuked. So I'm guessing the Sin Eater is just going to kind of flop around. Is that a nuke? Yes, that was a nuke going off. Hit the next one. Don't get nuked, don't get nuked, don't get nuked. So much is hitting around it. It's not hitting it directly. These little things are so squirrely and so hard to hit. Come on. Somebody hit it. It's getting real close. Oh, it's getting real close. For some reason turning its back to us. Its back is where the nukes are. The little white things there are the nukes. Oh, there it goes. Looks like it was just out of range of us, which is good. The buzzsaw taking some nasty hits there. But I'm still going to target it,
Engaging now.
because I don't want to be buzzsawed. Looks like the Sin Flare is going down into the water back there. Nukes are interesting in this game, because they do a lot of damage, but they have a fairly small radius, which I can understand why they would do that, because, you know, you don't want a weapon that can just absolutely devastate any ship that it hits, ever. But it's got a really big explosion graphic without that much of a result. Now, I still like them, and I mean, it's only 100 points for a nuke, or 200 points or something like that, so it's not like it's a particularly expensive option. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about them. They're kind of weak. But I guess if you make, you know, a sub-vehicle spawner that spawns in nuclear missiles, then that would be, you know, a good use for them. I've actually made a sub-vehicle missile that I'm pretty happy with. Maybe that new airship will use it. I don't know. I keep talking about this airship. It might not even be... It might not even come into play anytime soon. Because it's pretty big. Not quite Kraglenorm big, but pretty big. And I think it's going to be an airship that's going to directly face the enemy and sort of keep its distance and shoot at them. Because that's something that I have not done before, and I think would be pretty cool. Alright, so this was a pretty easy fleet to beat. Fairly happy with the results. The results, of course, being the utter annihilation of our enemies, which is a good result. For us. Not for them. Here come the Rock's torpedoes. Going out towards the Sin Eater, which is probably already just being destroyed. Oh man, a lot of torpedoes coming in there. Yeah, too bad it is disappearing, and so the torpedoes are sort of going through blocks that used to be there and no longer are. What is this? I didn't see another flyer, but... well, whatever it was, it is no more. Looks like a Stinger, maybe? Alright. Easy peasy, and we are doing pretty well. I don't think I really took any damage that fight. So, okay. Alright, doing pretty well. So I think that's all I have time for today. The next part will probably focus on this tile, because I'll have to draw out the defense fleet. I'll have to destroy High Lorham here, with its big town full of scarily named things like the Sacrificer and the Bloodstone Obelisk. It's very Night Vale there. And then we'll go after the White Flayers Fortress, which is the Gorgon. Gorgon being what a Medusa, or what Medusa is. Medusa's the name, Gorgon is the creature. But yeah, cool. Went better than I thought it would. I was expecting a lot more losses against the White Flayers. Although, speaking of losses, next time we'll also be fighting this lovely fleet with our pretty outdated fleet of owlbears and pathfinders and some login and stuff. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.